Yeah, this me words to the gear to you then.
The montages fusing in and out of the main video are just for educational purpose, yet based on real life events that portrays some of the side effects or dangers of doing drugs.
Cowards are incapable of quitting drugs. It has always been the prerogative of the brave. The name is Eric Noah King, your behavioral modification catalyst, and your emotional intelligence hyperion. And I'm right here in the place to be, bringing you Chosen Success Story. We'll be right back.
Using Rehab Center, we enjoy when it comes to security. We make sure the rehabilitants are totally secured. Just bring in your drug addicted relative and watch us work on his transformation with the power of God while you stay at home and rest in peace. You can locate Chosen Rehab Center at Achimota, Abufu. Call 0555 466 374. 0555 466 374.
I have with me in the house a young guy by name Jalil. Jalil.
Yeah,
Nice meeting you.
nice meeting you too.
You were here on the 17th of November, right?
Yeah,
2022.
yes.
And when you came, you lost 2 weight, but now I can see that you've put on weight.
That one, yeah.
What's the secret?
Actually, when I came here, I've seen some 1 or 2 stuff that go somewhere. My eating, at first, I was not that much into eating that way. But when I came here, my appetite, everything has been boosted. So I eat well.
You were not eating well with regard to your intake of the drugs. Do you accept that?
Yeah,
And what were you doing?
I smoke weed, king size.
And what? A little bit of alcohol.
Yes.
And I can tell that you were Muslim.
Yeah, I'm for sure Muslim.
And the 5 pillars of Islam doesn't speak well of somebody who drinks or smokes.
Yeah,
Or am I getting it wrong?
it's true.
And your father is a stout and an extremist in the sect.
Very true.
So why didn't you take after your father and then you succumb to worldliness?
Actually, it got to a time I saw friends, people smoking, and I was like, whoa, why are they smoking? So I tried to take a taste or a feel of how or what they smoke. And lo and behold, it was like I got the feeling and I wanted to try more.
Let's go back. Tell me your age.
I'm just 24 years.
24. Jalil, what's your name, your full name?
I'm Abdul Jalil Mamfi.
Where do you reside?
I reside at Abeka.
Abeka.
Yeah,
Yeah, the den of wolves.
for sure.
And your daddy, can you tell me a bit about your daddy and mommy?
My mom and dad, they are all respected in the family or in the neighborhood. My mom is a petty trader, my dad is a constructor. Yeah, so most of the times, contract and things do come. Things also do come to mom's hand for selling and stuff.
And how many are you in the family?
We are 6 or 5. 6.
6.
Yeah,
And where do you position yourself?
I'm the last one.
You're the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. And the elderly, how old is he?
Oh, he'll be around 32, 33 that way.
Tell me, among your siblings, is any of them doing drugs?
No, only me.
Only you. Why did you?
I wanted to have a feel of how drug is, and I got to know about weed. Started smoking with king size.
Who taught you weed?
At first, when we go to school, go to towns and stuff,
Where did you school?
Koforidua sector.
Before you Sectech.
Yeah,
Before Sectech, where did you school?
Harrow International.
I'm also a past student of Harrow International.
Wow.
I was born and bred in Abeka. I always say that if you're born and bred in Abeka and the environs around Achimota Fadama, in La Paz, in Yamiche, there is always the propensity that you will grow to be a rebel. Don't you share
That
that
is true.
sentiment?
It's true.
Because that was the 18. I became 18. You,
Yeah.
oh,
I
you were a
was
kid
not.
then?
By then, I was a kid.
You were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what motivation did you derive out of weed?
Um, Making money and stuffs. That was all.
I don't get you.
Sometimes work do comes. I go out maybe browsing and stuffs. Yeah.
Work comes, you browse and stuff. And tell me, in your line of addiction, I hope your daddy never liked it.
For sure. That was why he brought me.
Yeah, I know. So when you were experimenting them, um, were you not scared that daddy is going to see me and the repercussions? Wasn't it bumping into your head?
That was at first when I started smoking. But I got to a time like I was,
Yeah.
I was like an old guy in smoking. So when I come home, I see everything to be normal.
Did you, in your perspective, think that daddy should have done something that he didn't do, and that's the reason why you were pushed into drugs?
Not really. I wanted to, I tasted it in the first place, and it was like I had the feeling I had to go. I had the feeling to go for more, and I started.
Was the concentration based on your other siblings, and therefore your daddy was not disciplined enough to watch you?
At first, he used to maybe sometimes scare me off, threaten me, do all sort of things. Like, got to a time he threw me out.
He threw you out of the house?
Yeah, because
by
of
reason
smoking.
of your smoking?
Yeah.
Because you were like a black sheep to
Yes.
the family?
Yes.
You were like tarnishing his image?
Yes, for
and his
sure.
reputation?
For sure.
And what crowded your mind? You never said, okay, fair enough, then I want to quit it.
Actually, nothing came into my mind like that for quitting. But he was the one who suggested. Came home, arrested me, doing all sort of things. And later-
Arrested you by the police?
Yeah,
For?
for just smoking. I don't know the main reason behind.
Do you do tramadol also?
No, I don't
Do you
do
do
drugs.
Rafenol?
I don't do pills. Mine is only weed, nicotine. There's a king size or cigarette that we normally smoke.
And those were your trails?
Yeah,
Amnesia?
amnesia I do smoke and hashish.
Have you stolen from anybody before by reason of your
really.
use?
No. Maybe work. I work. I get my money. If maybe sometimes I don't have money, I ask. Or maybe some petty stealing at home. Maybe if I ask for money and nobody gives me, I find out that maybe there's some 1 million here, there's some 50 cedis here, and I go for it and I go
Yeah,
out.
so you've been stealing from daddy's sledge purse.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's, the commencement of you taking it outside.
yes.
But you never practiced outside, or you did?
No. Practicing outside, it was not part of mine.
Were you in a gang?
Not really a gang, but friends,
Yeah. It's a gang.
for sure.
Have you robbed somebody in your line of addiction ever before?
No,
Have you raped a girl before?
no,
Not in person or in a group? You haven't done
no.
such thing.
I've never raped any girl, I've never robbed anyone.
So tell me, at what age did you started using drugs?
Let me say, from 15, 16 that way.
And you were in SS1 then, or you were Jesus?
SHS,
SHS.
yeah.
And did your lectures ever queried you about your intake of weed?
No one ever saw me, but I always maneuvered my way through smoking.
In school, no one ever saw you.
unless maybe
Your
my
friends,
mates.
your mates.
Yeah,
You skip. You don't go for exit, and then you jump the walls, and go and
passing
smoke.
bush, passing through the bush, going to town, going for clubs and stuffs.
And you thought it was good, right?
But at then, that was at first.
Was it helping you in learning? Were you studious?
I was not all that studious though, but I ways and in any ways and means I try to find myself to learn.
And did you ever hear from your comrades that if you should do weed, you would be a bright student?
Sure. I heard that one too.
You heard that one. And were you becoming brighter?
Not really. But okay, I would say that maybe to my side, weed does not show you or does not make you that bright. It's your intelligence and how you sit down, you burn the midnight candles that makes you a brighter student.
And were you a brighter student?
I was not all that perfect, but I was well to do.
I was thinking that your daddy is even smarter than you in the lingua franca. Your daddy speaks well or better than you.
Sure.
On how many occasions have you written your exams, SHS exam?
3 times.
You failed one, you failed two,
Yeah,
and you failed three.
yeah.
Would you attribute it to your smoking weed?
Yes.
Do you know that weed or people smoke weed and they go nuts? They go psycho.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
And you were not scared that you were going mad, or were you mad?
I was not mad.
Are you mad?
No.
Now, are you mad?
Nah.
Have you ever been to the psychiatric home?
I was sent there for injections and stuffs. But
You were sent there. What did the doctor say was worrying you? Or what did your mother or father said was worrying you? And by
All
reason of
that-
that, they took you to psychiatric home.
all that I heard after their test and everything, they were like, I'm normal. But
No. My question is this. What triggered your dad to send you to a psychiatric home and not perhaps a rehabilitation center?
I don't know triggered him that much. But
Don't you think that there was something wrong here?
nope.
I deduced that when you came to the house, you exhibited a style of walk that was alien to us. When you were talking to, when I asked you questions, it was as though your tongue was coming out. Is it as a result of the medication you were administered to at the psychiatric home?
Yes.
Honestly speaking, in my perspective, when you were brought in here, I thought you were a lunatic. But in the passage of time, I realized that you were not. And that is where I would like to advise parents. Maybe it is by virtue of ignorance. That is why we operate in that area. I want to speak this, that when your child is a weed smoker, as a cocaine user, or a substance abuser, you are making a terrible mistake by sending him to a psychiatric home or he needs a rehabilitation. Else, the medication that will be administered on the very child will forever remain in his brain as a mad person. I have seen that on numerous occasions. Maybe you are a clinical psychologist or a doctor of many of other mental institutions, and you would beg to differ on this. But I have made research and evidently seen that that is the actual game. So,
Say no to drugs. Yes to life.
can you tell me, have you regretted?
Sure.
And apparently, my concern really is you building a formidable future. And in this time and age, you cannot make a future without education. Are you willing to write even your fourth time?
For sure, I will. And it's a must. Because without education, nothing goes on well.
I'm wishing you well in
Amen.
your endeavors.
Amen.
Apparently, this happens to be the second session that we hold in an interview because you've been here for the first time and you're now getting into your 5th month at Chosen Rehabilitation Center. I would want to say more grace to your elbow. And it is good that you fought the war on drugs and prevailed. Can you tell your experience by advising other young ones coming up who want to fidget themselves with drugs?
I have a little words to say.
Yeah.
My advice to those out there and the young ones who want to get into drugs, my own is that never try to do that because there's nothing good that comes out of it. So later you'll be in some distress that later will bring you some stuffs that you won't like. So it's better not to try. Focus on your education, focus on any work that you're doing, and pray. That's my only advice.
At Chosen Rehab Center, we don't just cure them, but we keenly focus on their renewal of the mind. Change is possible. Say no to drugs. Yes to life.